Marvel has been putting out crap after crap for almost 2 years now. The last good thing I remember was Moon Knight. If anything else was released in the last 2 years, I've forgotten, so it doesn't count. But Deadpool Wolverine came out and word got out that it wasn't crap, it was pretty good in fact. I was relieved, so I went and watched the film and I was pretty damn happy with what I watched. Deadpool Wolverine is a refreshing change to Marvel's long lineup of duds. Now, I suppose the film did break Marvel's rather horrendous lineup of duds in the last 2 years, but I think the film was just an anomaly. We're still going to get the same crap we've been getting all this while, so there's that to look forward to. But coming back to Deadpool Wolverine, Deadpool's timeline is about to be pruned or erased by the TVA because Wolverine died at the end of Logan. And now that that's done, the timeline isn't important anymore. So Deadpool, with the help of a very unwilling Wolverine variant, attempts to protect his timeline from being pruned. This sets him up against a TVA representative called Mr. Paradox, and then against Cassandra Nova, who's Charles Xavier's twin. She's the twin that Xavier choked to death in the womb of their mother because she was evil, I guess. Anyway, she's alive here in what's called the Void, and she's one of the two antagonists. And that's the crux of the film, Deadpool saving his own universe. But the other thing that the film does is line up cameo after cameo in a believable sort of way, and that's sort of the other crux of the film. And there are many cameos. You have Chris Evans as not Captain America, but the Human Torch, Elektra, Blade, Gambit, X-23, Happy Hogan, the Hulk, Thor, Hunter B-15, Sabretooth, Toad, Pyro, Azazel, Juggernaut, the Russian from Punisher, Ant-Man, Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Yukio, Shatterstar, Shot Wolverine, Patch, Fever Dream Wolverine. He's a variant that's nailed to a giant X like Jesus Christ, and also a comic book cover. Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, Cavalrine, Lady Pool, Cowboy Pool, who's Matthew McConaughey by the way. And I did not realize Headpool, played by Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion is in almost every other superhero film these days. Ryan Reynolds' kid is one of the Deadpool variants. Tom Holland's brother is another Deadpool variant. And there are just so many cameos in this film. There are more cameos in this film than there are in regular X-Men flicks. Now, one of the problems you have when you have so many cameos, and also when you add Wolverine into the mix, is that there isn't enough time to spend with the actual cast of Deadpool. Like Monica Baccarin, or Blind Al, or Dopinder, or Negasonic Teenage Warhead, or Yukio, or Colossus, or Shatterstar. I mean, we get snippets of conversations with them at the beginning, but that's all we get. And I suppose this should annoy me a little, but I'm okay with this. Considering this isn't really a Deadpool film, it's a Deadpool and Wolverine film. I think the supporting cast not being a part of the film was okay. Speaking of Wolverine, Hugh Jackman is pretty intense as Wolverine, the other half of this film. While you have Deadpool talking all the time, you have Wolverine, who's a really good foil for this talking character. And Hugh Jackman acts the shit out of Wolverine. He's intense, he's angry, he's dark and brooding. He's so many depressing things in this really light-hearted film. It's surprising how the film doesn't collapse under this strange sort of contradiction between Deadpool and Wolverine. Instead, we have a comedy, and I like it. Deadpool Wolverine is a fun action film. You have so many neat action sequences throughout the film. I mean, the film starts with a giant action set piece that really establishes, yet again, that this isn't a film for kids. You have blood, you have gore, severed limbs, stabbed heads, so much violence. This is just a great entry into Marvel's PG-13 universe. You also have a Wolverine Deadpool fight in the Void with the Fox logo in the background, which was short-lived but fun. And then there's the fight with, again, Deadpool and Wolverine inside a car. And this fight was so satisfying to watch. It's brilliant how much action you can shoot inside a little car. Fun. We also have Deadpool and Wolverine go against the Deadpool cause, which is probably the biggest action sequence of this film. It's fun watching our two heroes slice through all those Deadpool variants, even though the variants all get back up at the end. Were there just 3 major fights throughout this film? I don't know. It feels like the film was filled with everybody just chopping everybody on screen, or filling each other with bullets, or just generally ending someone with some weapon. But whatever. A lot of people online have been complaining, weekly of course, that the movie doesn't have a plot, or the movie has a weak plot. And to them I say, I didn't hear you complain about Drive not having a plot. I didn't hear you complain about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood not having a plot, or Taxi Driver, or Wolf of Wall Street, Big Lebowski, Chunking Express. Why the hell are you complaining about this movie not having a plot? Movies don't always need to have a plot. They work brilliantly with weak plots as well. This movie, for example. Look, I haven't read too many Deadpool comics, just one or two here and there. And in the comics, Deadpool is nothing like his movie counterpart. He isn't a motor mouth cracking jokes all the time. He isn't hyper aware of anything really. He isn't clever or smart. And the two comics that I did read were nothing to write home about. I admit none of the comics I read were actually written by Rob Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool. So it's possible that the movie version is closer to his imagining of the character, but I'm not so sure. I think Ryan Reynolds reimagined Deadpool and made him what he is, what we know. And I don't think the comics will satisfy anyone the way the films do. This really is one of those few cases where the film is much better than the books. On the other hand, comics satisfy a comic reader's itch that most film viewers won't ever understand. So there is that. Like I said earlier, this film isn't really trying to fix Marvel's many failures in the last 2 years. From where I'm standing, the film is just trying to have fun. Deadpool was a Fox film before, now it's being integrated into Disney. So they're adding in references to other universes and other films, but in a way that's fun and quite possibly aligns with Ryan Reynolds' idea of fun. And that's that. Deadpool is now Disney's bitch. In the future, if they do manage to make more Deadpool films, which I think they will, this movie made a shit ton of money. I hope those films keep it fresh and entertaining like the older films. I hope they don't cave to Disney's decision to streamline their content and make them all zombie versions of their former selves. And that's all I have for this video. Don't forget to like and share the video with your friends. Subscribe to the Psycho Film Pirate channel if you haven't already. And I will see you next time.